Okay, I'm making this video because I use YouTube a ton as a 57-year-old and 20-year mechanic who switched 20 years ago to IT. Anyway, there was one video for the 2019 Ram 3.6 six-cylinder spark plug in coil. So I figured I'd do a quick video. So as you can see, I tore it all apart. Tips and tricks. It looks like that wiring harness that's over the plenum isn't going to allow you to take it out, but it definitely gets out of the way. Invest in some tie wraps so you can tie wrap that thing out of the way. Otherwise you're going to rip your arm up trying to get the plenum out, and while you're trying to get the coils out. I already have these 3 coils and these 3 plugs already back in. The other thing is that it looks like this oil filled thing is going to get in your way. It doesn't. You can literally slide the thing right out. It takes some wiggling, but it'll come out. The biggest tip I can give you is these son of a guns at Dodge or Chrysler or whatever you want to freaking call it. There is, you can see here, let me get a light. There's a clip right here that's way in the back there. So you can barely squeeze your hand in there to get it. And I could not get that off for over an hour. I finally ended up getting a small, tiny pair of wire cutters in there. I mean, a small pair, and guided my hand in to cut it. And then I thought I could get it out. And when I went to pull it to get it out, it was still stuck. So I'm like, what the hell? I reached around, there's another one right here at the very, very back. And let me tell you, it took me about a half hour to get my hand in there to be able to cut that one. And then I could pull the plenum right out. The reason I'm not doing a whole video on how to do all the other stuff, literally, if you're attempting to do this, you know what you're doing, right? I mean, what else? Oh, let me move this plenum. Literally, these are the only tools that I needed. I didn't even need this, but yeah, these are the only tools I needed. Literally just a handful of tools to do it. It seems like it's a lot of work, but it really isn't that bad. The hardest part was not knowing that that little freaking wire back there had a clip on it that you can't get out. You cannot pull it out. You can't get the, I even have the tool. You cannot get this in there to pry it out because it's so tight between the brake cylinder and the plenum. So yeah, it was really tough. The other tip I would give is, see this pipe right here? It goes right here. I would take the time and take those 2 bolts out, because that third one, I don't even think you could get it out. So just don't even bother trying to do it. Just take those 2 bolts out down there, 210 millimeters, and you can get to that third one right away. The other thing, these little clips, let me get my light. These little freaking bastards, the clips on these are horrendous to get off of those coils. They're terrible. It's they don't just pop like regular ones. They're very, very difficult to get out. The thing I used is I basically used this little screwdriver and kind of just popped up underneath it and got them out. But they were really difficult to get out. But as far as that, I mean, other than that, it was pretty simple. Like I said, things I would buy if you were going to start this. Number 1, get some tie wraps. Make sure you got some on hand to tie that silly little harness out of the way, and what would have been really key is a 10mm ratchet wrench, because you're gonna need it. But basically this whole thing, I think I took this whole plenum and the entire, everything you see apart here off with a 10mm. Oh, and there is a 1/2-inch socket. That's it. That's all you need. 10mm, 1/2-inch socket, and of course, you know, a normal 5/8. And what I did was I just electrical taped the socket to the extension, so that, you know, obviously trying to pull it out because it's got the rubber in there, so you wouldn't lose the socket. And that's it. Like I said, I'm just doing this because there was not one video out there for me to look at, and I wish I would have known this stuff. The big key is those 2 clips in the back. They are a son of a gun to get off. But once you get those off, it's pretty easy, really. I mean, yeah, but you will, even knowing about them isn't gonna make it any easier to get at them. They're very, very hard to get at. There's no room, you can't fit your arms in there. My arms are all torn up from trying to get back there. But that's it. Oh, and a torque wrench. You know, obviously, you know, you're gonna go all this way for to do this. You might as well do it to spec, so you don't have to take this thing apart to do it again. But yeah, so the reason I had to do it was because I was getting the P304 misfire, which is the middle, of course, the middle plug. So I replaced the plugs. I put Delphi coils in it, because if you don't use factory, from what I hear, use Delphi, and they're as close to factory as you can get. But I wasn't spending $80 a coil, so I just went with the Delphi, and hopefully this will fix it. You know, unfortunately, when you get those misfires, anyone that's reading this or reading this, watching this, knows that it could be the coil, it could be one of the fuel injectors, could be a head gasket. Luckily, I didn't see any sign of head gasket wear. I mean, my plugs look fine. I mean, they're a little worn. It's the truck's got 89,000 on it, so the coils and plugs should be replaced, you know, around 90, 100,000 anyway. So, but yeah, that's about it. Like I said, just those two silly freaking connectors in the back just really screwed me. And then obviously I make sure you cover that, because God knows the luck I have, something would have fell down into that plenum. So I was not taking any chances, so that's why I put the rag on there with the weight and you know, the 2x4 and the screw gun, to make sure that there wasn't any chance that anything could slide down in there. But yeah, hopefully this fixes my problem. If it does, I'll put it in the comments. But yep, that's it. Good luck. Hasta la vista. Later.